Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Always good we have our friends from San Diego Rotary Club, Rotary 33, in the house. Mia Harenski, president of the group, and our connection is Ole Miss. Our son goes to Ole Miss. I went to school out there for a while, and he had a great year, correct?
He had a great year. Yes, he's looking forward to going back.
That's right. And then how many football games did you go to on the Grove and party?
We went to 2, and we're planning our fall schedule to go back.
I need to go back as well on that. And joined by longtime friend and colleague who doesn't age. It's not fair. Wendy Urushima-Conn. She is the president of San Diego Rotary Club, turning 25, 26. Going to be following Mia Harenski in that role. Wendy, way too long since I've seen you. Come on now.
You look great, Drew. You still have a dreamy voice, and I am still older than dirt.
You are not older than dirt. We're going to get your eyes fixed effective immediately right after the show. But you're very kind to say that. And Wendy and I came from, I'm not sure if you knew this, media backgrounds. I was at the Union Tribune, and Wendy was in, was it Channel 10? Where were you?
Channel 10.
Thank you very much.
13 years.
Oh, my goodness. 13. Who was the GM when you were there?
Oh,
was it Darren Dalton?
Derek was there,
Okay.
Daryl Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a good time.
You had a great time on this. Mia, just for our, very few listeners who have not heard you previously, just talk a little bit about the mission of the Rotary Club.
Yes. So, Rotary International is a service organization, a humanitarian organization that brings people together in service in all different types of areas, whether it's youth services, military support, senior support. We kind of do it all. And here in San Diego, we are the largest San Diego Rotary Club. We're the 33rd oldest, the 12th largest, and I have to say we are the best Rotary Club because we take care of our members and we have a lot of fun providing service to the community.
Spoken like a true president, and I know you're going to carry the torch on that as well, Wendy. You joined in 2012. I know that, Mia. You in 2018, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a slow learner. I've been asked to join for many years, and I kept saying no because obviously I can't do this every Thursday. And it literally has been the best personal and professional decision I've ever made. Boom, drop the mic.
Yeah, Wendy and I know each other. It's a long time when we both had young kids. I'll just say that Sammy is turning 31 next month and teaching. And so there's a little bit of a dating and all that business. And so like you, I got asked all the time to join Rotary. But you're raising kids, you're doing the media and all that. But the time is right now to do it, correct?
You know what? The time is now. I'm so glad you brought that up because I talk to a lot of working parents. I have a fully launched 27-year-old and a 15-year-old. I'm a CEO of another organization. I'm a full-time training to be a very even faster, really slow ultramarathon athlete. And Rotary Thursdays is my favorite day of the week. And when you get to be in service in something like Rotary, you really get the gift. It's been absolutely incredible. And I've been on a number of boards and commissions over the years. It is so incredible to sit alongside people like Mia and our 400 club members and do something together and make an impact. It's awesome.
Well, you've been involved in so many things, whether it's the San Diego Asian Chamber of Commerce, Lead San Diego, 4 billion others that I'm not saying. So, I mean, what a perfect fit for the Rotary, to say the least, because it's in your DNA to connect, to collaborate, and so forth. So, Mia, there can't be a better person following you.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited to have Wendy as president. We are very lucky to have her, and I'm looking forward to her year.
Yeah, exactly. On this, what advice have you given Wendy, or maybe we do breaking news on our show that you haven't given Wendy yet regarding what she should expect?
We've gotten to work together very closely the last few years with us in the presidential line. And I think one of the things I told her was that you don't have to do everything on your own. We're the kind of people, working moms, volunteers, and we sometimes just like to do things on our own, but to reach out and ask for help, and that we're all here to support her.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for Wendy because
Stop busting me already, man.
No. In the sense
you
that
do know me well, Drew.
I know you very well because you love to do things, and you love to be inclusive. There's nothing wrong with that, but you like to take things to market, so to speak.
Yes, I do. I'm a go person. You do know that.
Of course, I know that. I've known that for quite a while. That's absolutely a perfect deal. What would you say that working with me? Obviously, you've been in the line for this presidency. As you've seen that has been a little bit different than you thought it would be in the Rotary, and now moving forward in 2025-26.
Well, you know what? Mia has very small feet, but she has really big shoes to fill. She really has led our club with such grace and compassion. And when you are in a club with 400 amazing, passionate leaders, many with big ideas and differing opinions. So you really have to be flexible and welcoming and sometimes have a thick skin. Like, oh, sure, we'd love to have 17 golf tournaments. Are you going to chair that?
Right.
But it's really just knowing that, we, amongst a big club, we may have differing opinions, but we all come together in service. And so how do we do this together? And it's really amazing to have folks from all areas of town, different backgrounds, different ages, different cultures, coming together and really doing super, super cool things.
Well, I mean, the moniker is very much like Millen Burnham's, of course, service above self and all that business. Always has been with the Rotary. What would you say? I'll put me on the spot a little bit here. Would you say, listen, this is what I wanted to accomplish when I came into this presidency role? I'm very happy to say that I was able to do X, and it really surprised me that we did this so well. Was there one that stands out?
Well, it was more about all of the work getting done in the background that no one or not everyone knows, because we have so many members. We only have 45 weeks in the year that we meet. Not everyone can have podium time. So once I got in the presidential line, I saw all of this work in the background and all of these behind the scenes volunteers, and I wanted to highlight them. So at every meeting, I highlighted a group or a person as my Rotary hero. And I exposed them, so to speak, to the club and what they were doing. And then also at the same time educated our club on just more of the great work that we're doing.
We're chatting with Mia Harenski. She's the president of San Diego Rotary Club. Just finishing up, her time at 2024-25, joined by her predecessor, Wendy Urushima-Conn. She'll be taking over the reins for 2025-26. Chat a little bit about what is the four-way test.
The four-way test. It is a test that all Rotarians, conduct their life on, whether it's business or personal or volunteer work. It starts with the question: is it the truth? Is it fair for all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And I can tell you, I absolutely think about this pretty much daily when we're in discussions with our executive committee and things like that. When we're making hard decisions, we think about the four-way test and we discuss it and whether we're making the right decision.
Well, like many organizations, and you folks are a poster child for service above self, that four-way test goes way above and beyond just the Rotary. It's something to practice when you're at home with your family and when you're not at home with your family.
With your kids. It's 100%. So fun.
It is.
Did you really walk the dog?
Right.
I did. I'm like, send me a picture.
Right.
Not yesterday's picture. Me and I joke. We have a fun test out. We test our kids if they really walk the dogs.
Now, the question, Wendy, is, do the kids test you?
Oh, they do. They call me out. They call me out all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not the best driver, so,
Oh, okay. Very, very, very good. I'm not sure which one of that falls under the four-way test.
Yeah. Yes. Is it fair to all involved? I didn't mean to cut them off, but we are late for dance and we're leaving 5 minutes late. I have multiple faults. Just calling it out for truth.
There's no question about it. So Mia, you've done a great job as president. And one of our goals is to build membership as well. Is that maybe not number one, but it's up there, correct?
It is to build membership, because the more members we have, the more good work we can do, the more networking we can do. But we also want to have good, engaged members, people that want to be there and participate. So we want to honor the members that we already have and provide them the best opportunities that we can.
Right. Talk a little bit about you're now going to transition into the chair of the San Diego Rotary Foundation, right? Is that something that all past presidents do, or this is a new role and you're going to be doing this for a while?
No, this is for our club. All past presidents do it, and it's a 1-year role.
Okay.
And then we pass it off, and then we are officially done after that last year. After a 5-year commitment.
Right.
We call them has-beens.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to happen with Wendy at the reins over here, and so forth. Wendy, what excites you the most about all of this?
It's funny. It's like I've been waiting. I'm excited, and then all of a sudden it's here. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to do. What's really great, and I think about this a lot. We have 50 committees, and I talk to a lot of people that say, I don't have time. I'm like, how many hours are you on social media? I mean, please listen to Drew's podcast. I mean, that should be your number one. But think about people say they don't have enough time to fill in the blank, volunteer, to exercise. I'm like, it's really about prioritizing your time. And so if you get involved in something like San Diego Rotary, again, what you get back is 4 million times more than you put in. And I literally like to raise my hand for every committee because it's that much fun. You're making incredible friendships. And at the end of the day, you can say, wow, I got to help fill in the blank, working with our older adult population or homeless youth, or I got to, I had the honor of cleaning the gravestones at Fort Rosecrans. I mean, a really wide breadth and scope of service, which gets me super excited every single day.
Yeah, and I think, because you've been doing this for quite a while, certainly way before you became a member of the Rotary, and you two are heavily involved in the community as well, Mia. And I think one of the things, because I've been doing this thing for a while, I guess. When we tell people that there's no such thing as too little of a volunteer hour. If you only have 1 hour this month, fine. Maybe it's 2 hours next month. If you only have $5 to donate, beautiful. We'll take it. Because we don't know the most important thing, Wendy, and you can address this to Mia, is just get involved. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Coming into my presidential year, each president gets to have a theme. And so my theme, no surprise because you know me, Drew, is movement is medicine, and I'm a distance runner. But what I mean by that, I'm always moving. In a good way. Yeah. The last weekend when I fell 10 feet before the finish line at a race, but we won't talk about that. But moving towards doing something. And I think a lot of times people will hesitate, right? I don't want to raise my hand. I don't want to get involved. A little nervous to join a board or to go to the first meeting where I don't know anyone. And I say, just raise your hand and see what happens on the other side of yes, because it can be really impactful. You don't have to be $1 million donor. You don't have to be on 17 committees like me and I and our friend Denise, who helped set up today's interview.
Yes.
But you can do something, and together as a group, you can really get a lot done.
Yeah, we come back from break. I want to continue that conversation, Wendy, and Mia, you can add to it also. And listen, we know the world is a pretty funky place, these days. And it is incumbent upon us, leaders like you. We just were chatting with Lulu Bonning, just a brilliant young executive director of the Diplomacy Council. And what we were saying is, if there are two words that have sort of left our vernacular and gone by the way, the dodo bird, it's empathy and diplomacy. You guys are all about both of those, which I think is real important. We'll be right back chatting with Mia Harenski, president of the San Diego Rotary Club for 2024-25. Almost done with your reign, joined by her predecessor, Wendy Urushima-Conn. She'll be taking over the reins for 25-26. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 19th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, from food insecurity to financial literacy to art and everything in between. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, joined by our friends from San Diego Rotary Club, Rotary 33, and without any question, the best Rotary around, according to President Mia Harenski. She's finishing up her term for 2024-25, joined by my longtime friend and colleague, the person who never ages, Wendy Urushima-Conn. She'll be taking over the presidency from 2025 to 26. You know, in seriousness, we're in a pretty funky world these days, whether it's domestically or it's abroad. But what I love about Mia with you and Wendy is just a perfect person to take over from this. It is incumbent upon all of us to try to make this place a better place to live, work, and play. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Earlier you talked about, how much are we asking people to volunteer and donate? And I say Rotary is about the seasons. And there's different seasons of your life of getting involved and being able to donate. But, an hour a week and a couple hours a month is important. It's good for each person's, mental health and community. And that's one of the reasons why I love Rotary. When my life blew up and my kids were sick, there was always someone there to pick up the slack of whatever I was supposed to do on a committee. And so that's why it's worked for me over the years.
Right. And I think, it's this, area of, this has been sort of the word of the day. We had our friends in from National University today, President Mark Milliron, joined by Gary Ridge, is the chairman and emeritus of the WD-40 company. And the guy is just a brilliant leader, joined later by Todd Tibbetts, president and CEO of YMCA of San Diego County, with which you guys know all those folks. But belonging was, I think, the word of the day in those two interviews. Wendy, that's all about you. You want people to feel like they belong, whether it's on a committee, whether it's who knows what they're doing. Talk about that.
Yeah. Drew, you and I go way back, right, to the news industry, and I'm still an old news hound. I'm scrolling at night. I'm like, Wendy, go to bed. Lots of challenges, of challenges happening in the community,
right? And
we see a lot of folks struggling with mental health issues, and getting involved in something like Rotary. I want to talk about my best friends are all in the club now, and I think about when I broke my hip 3 years ago. I mean, I think I had like scooters dropped off at my house when my father was falling ill. I had rides to the airport every week. And it's just that type of goodwill and friendship while you're doing great things in the community. And everyone's like, no, we want to help you. I'm like, no, I don't need any help. I want to go help the community. They're like, well, you're on one crutch. Stop trying to jump off the stage with crutches. But that's the type of people that are in Rotary and in our community as well. And so it's real easy to get fixated on everything that's broken. And I'm not going to minimize what's going on in our world. We know. Yeah. But there is a lot of good happening. And you all can be a part of that good in a small, medium, large, any side of way. It all matters.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, I've been very happy about this podcast. 19 years now. Of course, it was called Internet Radio when I first started it. And you remember that, Wendy, when I was at the UT. But and one of the things we love is one of the shows we do is called Future Pathway Superintendents Unplugged, and our next guest coming from La Mesa Spring Valley School District and UCSD. We've had David Feliciano on our show. you can't talk enough about the great work that is going on in those 43 school districts. Challenges, no question, perfect, not always in that area. And talking about, talk about mental health. We're going to talk about mindfulness in the next interview, on this area. I'll start with you on this, Wendy, and pivot over to you, Mia. How important is you to get more of the youth engaged in Rotary?
Yeah, it's interesting. Our club historically has been a lot of long-time community leaders and CEOs, and they are amazing with a breadth and wealth of knowledge. But we're not getting any younger. I'm like, folks, we need people that can put their hands on the plow.
100%.
And so we had a whole kind of concentrated movement a few years ago. Our YoPro, looking at young professionals. I mean, you listen to our last your last interview. Incredible. And what young people bring to the table and different perspectives. And we're like, gosh, I don't know what to do with this technology. They're like, ask someone under 25 because it won't be me, right? I'm calling it Instagram. I'm like, mother, it's Insta. I'm like, all right, what's TikTok? Whatever. But it's really important to get folks, and they want to be involved. They want to make a difference. And so if we're all going to survive, right, in service, we need to bring the whole community together, not just folks that are 20-year CEOs like me. Young and different
100%.
Perspectives.
100%.
Yeah.
And Mia, we all know this. And our good friends of the different districts know this. Heaven forbid when we just get out of the way and let the young folks, whether they're TK or whether they're 7 years old or they're 17 years old, they know what they're doing. They may need a little direction, but they got some great voices. Talk about how important that is for the Rotary.
Oh, absolutely. So Rotary sponsors groups in high schools and colleges and the community. For all of those ages, usually the community-based Rotaract clubs are 18 to 30-year-olds. I'm an advisor to the best Rotaract district in the district this year, the City Heights Rotaract Club, something I'm so proud of. And they always amaze me just with how kind they are, how generous they are. And when they want to do something in their community to make something better, they do it no matter how hard it is. And I have that example almost every day with them. And when I work with them, I realize that if we get out of their way, like you said, we are going to be okay as a country.
Well, they're our future leaders, and some of our current leaders right now, as you mentioned, Wendy Lulu-Bonning, Executive Director of the San Diego Diplomacy Council. So I ask this of Mia every episode of our Spotlight show. I ask you this: what can our listeners do to support you in your presidency, Wendy?
Come as my guest. Come Thursday and have lunch and see what we're doing. We'd love to have you. And Drew, I'm just, it's amazing when you talk about how long you've been doing this. It's so important.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for shining a light on all that's good in the community. And thank you to our friends at Mission Fed. One of our friends at Mission Fed, who's a good colleague of mine, who's now a Rotarian in Club 33. It really matters, and it makes a difference for the community. Like I said, there's so much negative news out there. To get to hear these stories of what's happening. So just hats off to you. You're always, thanking everyone else in the community, but thank you, Drew, and our friends at Mission Fed.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm going to volunteer my associate producer, Brandon Joe, to come to a Rotary thing. Have you got?
Brandon was there, and it was a great meeting.
What a shock over here.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's been there, done that. Are you trying to
volunteer out of college? He's signing
him
up
again?
Or he's signing up?
He's 17 leaps ahead of me all the time on this. He is the greatest networker of somebody in early 20s. And he did this when he was probably 19 when he first came on the show in this aspect as well. And we do encourage people to do this. Wendy, great seeing you. Can't wait to have you back on. Shout out to Denise Katina for bringing in the Rotary folks. We're going to continue this trajectory of consistently talking about what's going on, at least minimum quarterly in this aspect of it. Mia, what a delight to chat with you over this year. I'll miss our Ole Miss talks over here, but don't be a stranger.
I'll come by and just hang out when they do the podcast. Thank you for having me.
It would be my honor to do that. Mia Harenski, outgoing president of the San Diego Rotary Club 33, joined by the incoming president, Wendy Urushima-Conn. 2025-26. I know great things are going to happen with you. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, artwork, and all of those things. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.